Today, from Ford Field in Detroit, it's a special New Year's Day edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Detroit Lions taking on Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears.
First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Today, it's a black and blue matchup in the NFC North between the Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Lions team entering play. It's been a good season for them so far. They're just looking to keep that momentum going forward.
They like their record. Now they want to increase it. A win here could really get the momentum going in the right direction.
Just about time to rock as Toe gets ready to meet leather. And we are underway from Ford Field. Khalil Herbert to return it from his end zone. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by the second-year man from The Ohio State University, Justin Fields. They'll start on the ground with Montgomery. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. Second down.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Fields now to throw. Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And the Lions are going to take possession of the football.
Part of why they came to this week with a winning record is that they feed off of mistakes like this, and now it's a prime opportunity. Just moments in the game to get a short field touchdown off of their big defensive play. Now, on the other side, they were already the underdog in this one. They just made their uphill battle just a little bit tougher.
first and 10. Taylor now. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. The numbers for him from a week ago. And Charles, how do you think he ran the football?
I thought he definitely had his moments. I did think that they could have utilized him a little bit better, and I'm definitely going to keep an eye on him to see how they're going to use him this week.
Second down, another run with Taylor. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a third and about 4 more for a first. But Charles, as we've covered, they've already clinched their spot in the postseason, so now they just want to avoid adding any additional names to this list before the postseason begins.
Terrific observation, because trying to move up a spot, I don't know if it's worth it if you're trying to play guys who aren't quite right. Get them healthy, get ready for the playoffs, make your move then.
First and goal, a chance to convert that early turnover into points. They'll run here with Taylor. And he's going to bull his way down to about the 1-yard line. Good yardage on first down. Now can they punch it in on second and goal? Taylor is not going to get in. In fact, he'll lose a couple of yards back to the 3. He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
That's a really alert defense there, because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Now, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is third and goal. Swift. Defensively, they rally the troops to force fourth down after that 7-yard pickup back on first. Defense didn't budge on third down. Now, what are we going to see on fourth?
We are soon to find out, but does this feel like old school football or what?
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
This is an old-fashioned goal line stand.
And he's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Lions take the early turnover and convert it into an opening touchdown. Charles, every time that he makes one of these plays, I think the front office, they get a bigger and bigger collective smile, because they feel more confident that they have found their guy, their future at quarterback.
And they should feel that way. It's obvious he's a big part of why they have such a good record this season. You're right about the bright future as well, and by association, a bright future for the franchise too.
And the formula there on the 2-point try to go 5 wide, not even the option to hand the ball off. They got it.
They tried to create space, and there isn't a whole lot of it there. For the defense, what you're trying to do is make sure that if they're going to catch the ball, make them catch it behind you, because they run out of space with the back line. But in this case, the offense figured it out.
Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others. Where they think they have an advantage, dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
They'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. The numbers on the ground for Montgomery in last week's affair. 15 carries, 83 yards.
And when he went over 1,000 yards last week, you know what it did for their offense? It gave them a true identity, because everyone's going to talk about this. The offensive line's going to take pride in it. Of course, the guy carrying the football will. But how about the coaching staff? When they go in and talk contracts, when they talk to reporters, hey, we had a 1,000-yard rusher this year. That means something in today's NFL.
And, Charles, you look at this defense. They were a very loose group coming into the week, knowing they kind of had the upper hand going into this one, taking on a team that hasn't won in a month and a half. Nowhere for Fields to turn, and down he goes. Chase Young, what a season he continues to have, his 15th sack of the campaign.
You've called plenty of games in your career. Do you believe in momentum, my man?
I do, and I think we're seeing it right here.
No, there's no doubt about it. The run that he's been on, how about that? 3 sacks in a game a week ago, and another one right here. Oh, he's feeling it in a big way.
On fourth down, Matt Araiza sent on to punt. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. 37 yards on the punt with no return, and the Lions will take over. The Lions offense heading out as we give you a look at the playoff race coming into the weekend in the NFC. And they have secured that spot in the playoffs, clinching the NFC North Division, in fact. So for them, and that's caught inside the 30. And he's in for the score. And his spectacular season continues as he ties the NFL touchdown record.
He is phenomenal.
Well, Charles, kind of the future of this franchise on display right there. You had a rookie throwing it, a rookie catching it, and taking it into the end zone.
Could you imagine if we were in the owner's box right now and we could look at the front office and see the grins on their faces, to see the present making plays and knowing what the future will bring with these youngsters going out and making big-time moments happen for this team.
Michael Badgley on for the extra point. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Dan Campbell makes the call. His guys will go for 2 here. They'll let Taylor try and run. And he is in to make it 16-0. I think we're sensing a trend here. 2 first-half touchdowns. After going for 2 after the first score, CD, I thought maybe they would kick the PAT here. No, they get 2 more.
No, they decided to really press the advantage because, remember, getting the 2 after the first score, you've already got the other team back on their heels if they're going to mount a comeback. But to go up 2 scores and 2 two-point conversions, you've really got them thinking on the other sideline.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. From the end zone, here comes Herbert. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. You know, Charles, season winding down, time to maybe look ahead to the offseason. What do you see these guys going after either in the draft or free agency? Well, with the season that they're having, just about every position is up for grabs right now. No one is really safe, but the focal point's always the quarterback position. And he may be auditioning to try and stay with his own current team. I think he's auditioning for the rest of the league to try and find a spot because I think this team is looking for a new quarterback. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down. I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you. Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going. A lot of football left to be played. That's an early scramble that can be viewed positively by either side. From the offensive point of view, it begins to establish him as a possibility to keep it on certain plays. And defensively, they avoided giving up a huge play in one of their first tests in containing a quarterback on the run. Now, this defense for the Lions, they were very strong last week in the win over Carolina. And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground. Net open, that's Byron Pringle complete. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 44-yard line. 12 yards there as they move the chains. You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field because
This has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. First down, here's the run with Montgomery. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Back to Montgomery on 2nd down. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down. But you're down early. How do you get back in the game? Maybe establish the run. I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. So after a rare misstep on this drive, they'll try to make amends on 2nd and 15. Now it's Fields. Got an open man. It's Pringle. And he's going to be taken down at about the 33. 16-0. That's the score after 1 on EA Sports. They need to get this to the 24 on 3rd down. To throw is Fields. The throw for Claypool is intercepted. A.J. Boye with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, we're probably not the first, but all of us at EA Sports certainly want to wish you and yours a happy and prosperous new year. And as a celebration of that, a big slate of NFL games on this Sunday, Week 17. Second to last weekend with the NFL docket. Later tonight, he's got a man complete. And he is into the end zone, and the touchdown record is now all his. I'll let you do the analysis, partner, but with every touchdown pass his young quarterback throws and with the success that his team has had, I just continue to be more and more impressed.
Let's both do the analysis. Impressed. Aren't we both?
Yeah.
I mean, and why shouldn't we be? We've seen him improve throughout the year. We've seen him settle in now, and you can see the confidence of the team has grown. His confidence has grown. I think that everyone around this guy feels good about what they've seen. And it's also safe for him when he's driving home to turn on Sports Talk Radio. He's okay.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Taking it about the 1. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. The Bears offense making their way out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the NFC. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
Hey, you're impressed, don't you?
I am impressed. That
Thank
means
you.
2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That does.
But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch, how much importance is placed on these games? Look, everyone talks about every game's important. When you get to this time of year, maybe that importance gets quadrupled. And that's where we are right now to see who can make their last run, their last push to get into the playoffs.
From the 27, Fields. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Isaiah Simmons getting by the offensive line and dropping the quarterback. This offense continues to shoot themselves in the foot. And here, another sack.
All game long, we've seen missed assignments, which have led to turnovers, sacks. This group has not played well at all here in the first half.
Escaping the Fields hit, and the ball is loose. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And into the end zone, a scoop and score on the fumble return for the Detroit touchdown. Charles, they are putting on a show right now. I mean, with that fumble return for the touchdown, you think about the size of this advantage. Heck, it's a 4-score game right now, and we're still in the first half.
And that has to be the highlight, Brandon, with how infrequently we see fumbles return to the house. But if you aren't inclined to pick this as the game signature play so far, you do have no shortage of alternatives to select from. This has been nothing short of a clinic. And as noted, we still have a half a ball to play.
So here's the kickoff now as he'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And from the end zone, here comes Herbert. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have... for the touchback. The Bears offense ready to get going again. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. Had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And in fact, we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. On second down, Montgomery. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
The Bears on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. They'll run it. Here's Montgomery. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. This defense not budging. Back-to-back carries of just 2 yards.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And the fair catch is made at about the 27-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return.
And they will take over 1st and 10. Jameson Williams and the Lions get set for this next possession.
We're in the 2nd quarter. He already has 2 touchdowns. We know how good he is. That's well documented. How do you contain him?
We know he's a nightmare. So in this situation, I would go ahead and...
He's got a man. Complete. Touchdown.
Jameson Williams
on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns.
And the Lions are able to add on to their first-half lead.
He put quite a bit of air underneath that touchdown pass. Of course, we knew that he had the strong arm.
That part was easy. You can see that throughout his college career. But what you want to know about a rookie is when the pressure's on, can you throw with touch? He just did right there. And, boy, it was pretty.
Dan Campbell makes the call. His guys will go for 2 here. Willis will try and throw for this.
And he's got it. They add on more. A little salt in the wound. 2-point conversion makes this lead even bigger. So they elect to pass there on the 2-point try. Sometimes can prove risky. There it worked out.
Yeah, and I love how you bring up that it can prove risky because if you get it intercepted and they return it, that's 2 points for the defense, but not on that play.
The kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
This fielded right at the goal line. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. And now this offense comes back out onto the field.
And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. To Montgomery to begin the drive. And he'll be brought down here at the 28.
40 yards on the ground for him so far.
That was a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a first down. It's been a very one-sided game so far. They got to change what they're doing right now, don't they? You can't wait till the halftime speech to make an adjustment.
No, you can't, because if you're doing it right, you're adjusting from series to series, and they need a big adjustment here to try and put some points on the board.
On 1st and 10, here's Fields. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
Well, this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting at once, you get first half scores just like this one.
Meanwhile, Fields' throw complete here to Kmet.
5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
I'm I'm wondering if the same thing went through your mind as mine. When I see a big man like that make a catch, all I keep thinking to myself is, big man with football. Look out, everyone. He may not juke you a whole lot, right? He may not run past you because of his size. You're talking about a guy weighing in the 270 range. But, boy, once he gets his mitts on the ball, he's going to be tough to bring down.
Well, based on what we've seen so far, I don't think you can even call this an off day anymore, partner, because this group we're watching, they are totally out of rhythm, trying to get their game plan up and running. That 0 on the scoreboard is glaring down at them with every incompletion.
Matt Araiza now on to punt this one away.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Here's Williams to return. 39-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over.
Now, Jameson Williams out onto the field as his guys take over on offense.
He might be on his way to a record-setting performance. So good here. We're only in the second quarter.
And it's so interesting when we watch these types of days unfold for a receiver because they need a quarterback throwing it accurately, people to block for the quarterback, so many other variables. But, boy, he's getting it done, and in a big way. Right now, he wants to rock on every snap.
Yeah, he's counting his yards in the hundreds, not the tens.
On first down, Willis.
It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
These two division rivals, a couple of late games on the schedule this year. Their first meeting, you might remember, was back in Week 10, and it was the Lions who got the road victory in that one, so they'll be looking to claim the season series now here at home in Detroit.
He's airing it out for Williams, and that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's third down.
He's put up numbers in this one by pushing the envelope a bit whenever he could with deeper throws. But let's play a little philosophy here. Some plays it works. Sometimes they're ready for you. And that time, they were on guard. Incomplete.
He's got a man. Complete. Touchdown, Detroit. Jameson Williams on his way to a historic performance, 4 first-half touchdowns. And the Lions extend their lead yet again. Well, partner, I mean, if anybody was still questioning whether or not he had an NFL-caliber arm, I think you can toss that right out the window. That was a heck of a throw right there.
I would agree totally. Question it no more. This rookie, big-time throw right there. Great poise, stepped up, trusted he could lay it in there perfectly, and he knew that his guy was going to make the catch on the other end. Nice collaboration.
Willis to try and throw for it. And they're a perfect 5 for 5 now on 2-point conversions as he is in to get them 2 more. So they go with a pass there on the 2-point try and able to convert it, Charles.
And a good job by the offense figuring out their 2-point play and using it well. It's interesting how people are using the strategy nowadays, though, isn't it?
It really is, and I don't know how much that particular play factored in, but with the PAT moving back in 15-16, that kind of changed things, didn't it?
It's really a part of everyone's strategy now. When I talk with coaches and when we sit with them, they always talk about they actually have 2-point periods in practice now, something they never really did before.
From the end zone, here comes Herbert. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. They were trying to create some space to run. They created the penalty.
And you work on it so much. You work on it so hard. But it's tough to simulate game speed in practice. That often runs you into a penalty.
So now factoring in the face mask, here's 1st and 10. A read option, here's Montgomery. 54 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Now a 1st down throw, Fields. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Amani Oruwariye. And the Lions are going to take possession of the football. That's what I'm talking about. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
Now Willis on 1st and 10. Flush to his right. And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up. From the 22, Willis. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived. And I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. The Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Willis, 4th down here. Now that'll be caught by St. Brown. And unable to break away, they stop him a few yards shy. The Lions turned away on 4th down. And the Bears will get the football back. Well, their first 4th down attempt earlier was successful. This one backfires for a turnover on downs.
I like their aggressiveness. I like what they're doing. They got it the first time they went for it. Why not a second time? I don't think they'll be daunted from attempting it again. If you're on the defensive side of the ball, though, any fourth down stop is a big momentum play.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he is going to lose yardage here. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. To throw again on second down. Fields. He's going to look deep down the field. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. On third down, they go Montgomery. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. It'll be a gain of 7, but I'd imagine we'll see the punt team here on fourth down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And here's Matt Araiza now. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. So possession goes over here on the punt. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And with 8 seconds on the clock, really not a lot of time to try to put anything together. He's airing it out for Williams. And that is caught one-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. So we've come upon halftime here in Week 17 as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome into our EA Sports Halftime Report. It's a busy Week 17 of the regular season, so let's get right to it. We'll get started over at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in downtown Atlanta. And that one getting close to halftime with the Falcons out in front. Cordero Patterson, a touchdown catch. Next, we head north to Philly. Check on the Eagles at home at Lincoln Financial Field. And for the moment, they trail the visiting Saints in that one. Alvin Kamara with 2 touchdowns thus far. Finally, let's get you to Baltimore. Check on the Ravens at home at M&T Bank Stadium. And that one all tied against the visiting Steelers. Meanwhile, our game has been a boat race. Very one-sided to this point. And for the call of the second half, let's get it back to our commentating team of Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Jameson Williams and the Lions get set for this next possession. What a game for him, Charles. 4 touchdowns. Heck, for a lot of guys, that's a good season number.
You're exactly right. And let's face it, we have to stand up and applaud this one, even though we're supposed to be neutral.
And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Detroit. Jameson Williams, 75 yards. And the Lions are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. I don't think you can get any more efficient or tidy, whatever word you want to use in that, man. One play, 75 yards, end zone.
Yeah, efficient, tidy, excellent words. How about explosive? 75 yards, one play. That means everyone handled their assignment, doesn't it? It doesn't just mean that the defense broke down. They really executed the way that was drawn up on the whiteboard. Big-time play, big-time result.
Dan Campbell makes the call. His guys will go for 2 here. They'll let Taylor try and run.
But they're just not going to let up as he is into the end zone here for 2 more.
First, I'd rather see him kick the extra point there than to go for 2, but it almost feels like there's a story within the story here. I mean, this isn't college. You know, size of victory, that matters in those games. Here, all you have to do is win by 1 point. That's all that you need. Instead, they go for it, get 2. You got some pretty ticked off folks on the other sideline now.
And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped it to 23.
So here are the Bears now as they get set for their first possession of the second half.
On first down, Fields.
Looking left side, he's got it, complete. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
Well, still in the third quarter here. Now, you look at the scoreboard, that deficit probably a little too much to overcome, but completions like that may be something to build on for future weeks.
Yeah, it's all about ending things on a strong note here, isn't it? Because my mindset is it's a new ball game from here to the end. Make sure it's a good one and close it out.
They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
You got to figure the further they fall behind, the more you think that they'll get away from the run. They're trying to stick with it, but the results, they just aren't there.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss.
Off the option, here's Montgomery.
No gain that time, and it leaves them with 3rd and 11 coming up.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Throwing on third down, Fields.
And that is incomplete.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already. And it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And here's a fair catch taken at about the 24-yard line. And call it 38 yards on the punt, no return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Jamison Williams out onto the field as his guys take over on offense.
A monster game so far, third quarter. He is lighting up the stat sheet.
And so many times when you see these types of games,
And the defense loses him. It's complete. Touchdown, Detroit.
Jamison Williams.
76 yards.
And the Lions just continue to roll.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Well, the offense wasn't out there for a long time, but they were out there for a good time. One play, and they're able to hit pay dirt. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
From the end zone, here comes Herbert. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line.
And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field.
Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. The throw over the middle taken in.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Back to throw. Fields. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Fields, we know he has the good mobility. He flashes it there as he scrambles for the 1st down.
He certainly isn't looking at the scoreboard out there because, to me, all he's concerned about is analyzing the field and making most of the time left in this game. Deficit's still there, but he's starting to hit them with some big plays.
And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half, and that trend is continuing here.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Fields going to keep it once more. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. 3rd down, now even tougher. 3rd and 13 after that loss of a yard.
Corners are known for their ability to cover, but those that'll stick their nose in against the running game, that's a bonus for any team. And what a nice play right there, tackling him for a loss.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Derek Brown in there to drop it for a 6-yard loss, and that will lead to 4th down. Here comes the Bears punter now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. Jamison Williams and the Lions get set for this next possession. He's hoping to take what has been a good game here and make it a great game. But so far, solid, and we're still in the 3rd quarter.
There's nothing wrong with solid. You want to be that. You want to be reliable. You want to be a guy that put...
Oh, wide open, complete. And in for the Lions touchdown. Jamison Williams, 76 yards. And the Lions get another 3rd quarter touchdown to add on to that lead. I don't even know what to say anymore. I mean, I've lost track of how many times he's been in the end zone. This is just flat unbelievable.
Doesn't matter whether you have an abacus, a calculator, just old-fashioned pencil and paper trying to total it up. The number is staggering. What a performance. This man knows how to find the end zone and make it count.
Dan Campbell makes the call. His guys will go for 2 here. They'll let Taylor try and run. And, boy, talk about adding insult to injury. He's into the end zone to tack on 2 more.
I think this is just going to be a function of the times we live in now. Very similar to the bat flip in baseball. Everyone's got to start to get comfortable with this. But to me, this is just rubbing it in. You got a big lead. Go ahead and take the extra point. One thing to keep in mind, though, karma's still out there. And sometimes it has a way of catching up with you.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. Taken at the goal line. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. The Chicago offense set to get started. But the disparity in this game, it just seems to grow with each possession here, Charles. They are really struggling. They have not put up a single point, and on the other side, the points keep piling. And up and up.
So you know the frustration level has to be rising, right? So they've got to find a way to quell that, because otherwise they certainly won't get anything done in this one. Keep diving deeper into the offensive playbook. The bottom line is don't quit competing.
Man, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Again, they'll go ground with Montgomery. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 77 yards for him on the ground now, as he has been terrific here this afternoon. Good push up front, and that run in between the tackles.
Let's play the leverage game here. Offensive line just got lower than the defensive front, and they were able to get their pads on them and move them backwards and create space for their running back to roam. And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Fields going to keep it once more. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
Well, for that being an option play, there really weren't too many options available for him, were there?
No, there weren't, and at least he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so they didn't lose anything, but you're exactly right. Nowhere to go.
Going down the middle, and it's complete.
And he will have the Bears 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, maybe this offense has learned something from watching their counterparts work. I'm wondering if their coaching staff said, let's do what they've been doing the entire game, because that's worked well. This offense, they have not looked particularly good all game long. But a nice throw there for a good gain and a 1st down.
And he's going to be taken down at about the 33.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
Montgomery back to the ground. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another 1st down. As they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10. Fields hit, and the ball is loose.
And this is scooped up by the Lions. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Okay, this isn't one where you want to take the game tape and hold it up as an example, do you? I mean, you talk about frustrating all the way through. And that last error, I think that crystallizes it, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That's been representative of their entire game still being shut out. A good start to the drive here as that's caught out on the left side.
And they're going to be set up now with the ball at the 13-yard line.
I can still hear it reverberate through this thick skull of mine. Crossing routes versus man-to-man coverage, it's a bad matchup for the defense. Those tend to work very well as they run away from a defender.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. Mo Alley-Cox from 13 yards out.
And the Lions add 6 more to their point total, and they're on cruise control right now here in the 4th.
Here's Badgley now to try to add the PAT. Flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. It's a wobbler, and it's intercepted. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And they will finally bring this run back to an end, but not before he's down inside the 5-yard line at the 4. Should have been picked. Probably doesn't matter on a 2-point conversion, but still, as a former DB, you want to grab that ball when you can, don't you?
You certainly do, and don't say it, because I know you're thinking it. Don't say it.
What am I thinking?
You know what I know what you're thinking. Well, if he had hands, he'd be playing on offense.
That's That's true. You've said that before. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave them with a second and just a few inches left. Out of the gun, Fields. He'll get that complete to his tight end, Kmet. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Fields to Kmet there for a Chicago first. Now, this is certainly one of the bigger losses that we are going to see for quite some time. And you have to think at this point where we're at in the fourth quarter with how wide this advantage is. For this offense, they're just trying to end things with a positive drive and then get the heck out of here.
Yeah, if this had been a concert, you would have heard plenty of sour notes in this one. But they certainly don't want to end it on one. They want to put together a few more throws like that and at least have a final drive to give them a little bit more hope as they move forward.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Throwing again is Fields. They'll set up the screen to Montgomery. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Here's Fields. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line. Well, a touchdown here on this drive, it wouldn't really put much of a dent in the score, the deficit right now. But as you mentioned in the past, CD, their coach is probably just hoping to see something executed correctly on this drive before we close out the ball game.
Yeah, and I think that every guy who's on the field has to feel exactly the same way, because if not, they might be looking for replacements. Treat every drive as if it's your last and make it a successful one in some small way. Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. A.J. Boye with a pick. He's at the 30. And the Lions are going to take possession of the football. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And, gosh, you look up at the scoreboard. And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. But Jameson Williams out onto the field as his guys take over on offense. And we get a peek at the kind of game he's having. It's been a good game. 8 catches now, Charles.
Everyone likes to spread the ball around. They want a lot of people to catch it and touch it, get a lot of guys involved.
First and 10, and kind of tipping their hand at running the ball. 3 tight ends are out there. Now Willis on 1st and 10. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Malik Willis taking it in from 11 yards out. And the Lions take the forced turnover on defense and convert it into 6 points. He continues to show at this level that he can not only pass for touchdowns, he can run for touchdowns.
Not the first time we've seen this, because this young guy, he really makes it happen. So what that tells me is the book on him has to change. You got to now plan for those legs as well as him throwing the football. But I guess when you're hot, you're hot. I mean, I would just go ahead and take the extra point and move on, but apparently they've got something to prove. Almost feels like something was said this week, and they wanted to make sure that they laid it on them in this game.
This taken in at the goal line. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The Chicago offense set to get started. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this 4th quarter. Nowhere for Fields to turn, and down he goes. Chase Young picks up his second sack of the afternoon.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
Gotta imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Griffin's got it, middle of the field. So the completion good for just 3. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
Gets this into the hands of N'Keal Harry. And he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line. It'll be a gain of 12, but it will also lead to 4th down. Here comes the Bears punter now, as he's on here to punt it away. And he'll get credit for putting him inside the 20 as the fair catch is made right at about the 19-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. Jameson Williams and the Lions get set for this next possession. They have to like what they've gotten from him in this game.
Think about the accumulation of catches.
8.
The yards per catch now, because you're getting more than a first down every time he's touching the ball. This is the kind of game you want when you're able to throw it out wide.
Absolutely. Over 100 yards, has the 8 catches. A big play there for Detroit. 45 yards.
No let up in this passing game. They've been a well-oiled machine throughout. And I actually saw a few guys on the sidelines at the end of the 3rd quarter doing the old hold up 4 fingers college sign, meaning the 4th quarter is ours. And they certainly weren't kidding.
And that'll be caught. It's St. Brown. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Another touchdown through the air for them, and for this rookie quarterback at the helm, he has put them in a great position, Charles, to get the victory in this one.
He's absolutely taken charge. Every touchdown for them has come via his arm. 0 rushing touchdowns, no special teams, no defensive scores. All him throwing the football. He's in cruise control right now, and so is his team.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. From the end zone, here comes Herbert. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Another drive coming up for this Chicago offense. It's been a tough go for them. It's still without any points here in the 4th quarter. And a big deficit, Charles, but they moved the football on some drives. They just haven't had any points.
Yeah, and I know in their minds they're thinking the game plan has actually been working. We just haven't scored points. Well, isn't that the bottom line, partner? To put points on the board? So if you're moving it and you're not scoring, is it really working? Right now, they've got nothing left to lose. They might as well go for broke.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. They've got it 1st and goal as they look to punch in a late score. Here's Fields. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late, but he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man. Santos with the extra point as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have got...
There he goes, left side, past the 20, and they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. He has really settled in throwing the football, and that touchdown here in the 4th quarter gives him a pretty comfortable cushion.
He may be a rookie, but he's playing like 4th quarter And the QBing is easy. How about this guy? Youngster, not worried about anything, just cutting it loose and having fun.
They'll let Taylor try and run.
And they are just not going to let up as he is into the end zone here for 2 more. And so they run it in on the 2-point try. And it's so often, Charles, we talk about from the offense's perspective what you do on the 2-point conversion. How about the defense? How do they play run versus pass?
It's really difficult for them because I think most teams want to play for the pass. That's what they see most teams do. And so are you able to mass enough people inside if the team decides to run it? Very difficult. I think what you're seeing a lot more now, people blitzing the 2-point conversion. They want you to make a quick decision and make it right now.
There, the offense wins the battle for 2. A very costly holding penalty. It backs them up all the way inside their 10 to start this drive. Now a desperation throw deep downfield.
And a high throw there as this is knocked away, down to the ground and incomplete.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
Fields. Over the middle, that's caught by Claypool.
And they'll get him down up past the 15, just shy of the 20. It's a pickup of 10 and a Bears 1st down.
Now Fields. Open man is Kmet, the tight end.
The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play.
To the air again, Fields. Fields hit and the ball is loose.
But the Bears look to get this one back, and indeed they did. So they'll keep possession. Now a 2nd timeout called for by the defense as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
So possession still theirs, but now they face a 3rd down.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And my goodness, another interception. Teron Johnson able to pick it, and he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown.
But not much defensive resistance on that drive. And really, Charles, the way this offense has been humming, they haven't faced much defensive resistance the entire game.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that one team, their defense did not wake up and make it to the stadium for this one. There may be some major changes on that side of the ball when we see them the next time out.
And they turned the pick 6 into a pick 8 with that 2-point conversion.
I love how you upsell. That is outstanding right there. What a big-time play. Big switch in how this game was going, and then they capitalized a little bit on top.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away.
Fields it right around the goal line. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense.
Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at 3rd down and long.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
Open man completes it to Claypool.
And now off to the races down the right side. And somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown, but they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it.
Santos able to tack on the extra point as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. So out now come the Lions.
They've got to be feeling very comfortable and confident here with this lead in the football here in the fourth quarter, Charles. And I don't think that they need to score again, but it seems like this offense is just getting better as the game goes on. They've scored on their last 2 drives.
Certainly feels like a chance for them to continue to have some fun out there, Doug.
And that's caught inside the 30. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And we didn't even get a chance to settle in for that drive. A quick strike of 75 yards, and they find the end zone.
Don't you get the sense that film study was behind this one, that they saw something that they thought they could take advantage of? The key is calling it in the right situation, knowing when it exists to go to it. They did exactly that. They've got to feel really good about what they did in advance of this game.
Just looking down at the sideline now, their defense is like, man, can you have strung that out just a few plays? Give us a break. Back out there.
Hey, man, give that water break and get on out there and play.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
From the end zone, here comes Herbert. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Bears now ready to take over again. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD, but unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
One last throw here for Fields.
Under pressure, they got him again.
And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go to each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off-season. But on game day, you both want to show your best. And I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So for Detroit,
they move to a sparkling 15-1 with one game still to go in the regular season.
So that's a wrap for Charles.
Yeah. You're in the presence of the realest essence. I've been serving lessons since the days of my adolescence.